Alma Toran arc starts next week. Get hype, baby. So this week's chapter picks up from where the last one left off, with Aladdin basically about to tell them some info about Alma Toran, and it seems as though with the following chapters we're going to be going into a full-on flashback arc explaining everything that went down back then. Now with this chapter it gave me a couple of things. First of all, Judal is pretty much training right now, and he doesn't, he can't be disturbed because he'll probably freak out on them. And it makes you think he's with Hakuryuu. What are they training for? Are they training for all-out war against the Empire, against the world? What are they planning? Because if he's training right now, which we never really heard Judal train, I mean, it's never been asked, like, hey, is Judal training or anything, but I'd imagine it's something in particular that he's training for, and it's full-on war. So when him and Hakuryuu return, they're probably going to be stronger than ever, especially Hakuryuu, because he's coming for Kowen's head and the Empire and his mother Gyokuen. So right there already we got a little bit of a setup that they're training. But it also makes you think, does Judal already know some of the stuff that is about to be revealed regarding Alma Toran and the other world, or is it just that if he was to see this, it wouldn't really change him either way? Like, would he still be the same type of person that he is? Because he's very sadistic. We know Judal. He's pretty much like, I don't give a fuck, I just want to fight war, I love it, and everything like that. And it makes you think, is he like a product of Altham? It really makes you question a lot more regarding Judal's backstory and why he's just so cynical and so hateful and just loving war and everything. And this is why he took Hakuryuu, because he loves the hatred, he loves the darkness. It really makes you wonder, like, will we see some of him or some maybe of his family of some sort in the other world? Because once we get to see the other world, we might be able to see inklings of where these Magi originated from and their families, and what are the Magi in essence. Because I mean, we know what they are and pretty much how they have all this special rook and whatnot, but we might get more of them especially, and I'm curious if we'll see more of Judal, and maybe that's why he's really not here right now, because it'll be better explained to see what he is without him being there. We pretty much already knew for the most part that Aladdin, all the Jinn, Altham, and all of them originated from Alma Toran and the other world, which pretty much got destroyed. But I'm curious, the way Aladdin was saying it, how, there's other worlds that are existing within this one and we can never go back to it. Like, does that world still exist, or was it completely destroyed and everyone there is already dead, and the last inklings of the people that survived basically were sent over here to this world by King Solomon? Like, is there anything left over there? Would it be possible for them to travel over there at some given point? Will the worlds maybe break where they can cross over? And to be honest with you, it seems as though King Solomon is pretty much like the kami, or because he was referred to as God by Aladdin. He's basically like God. So he's like the sage of six paths. And it's curious because I really got like interested when I saw the back of King Solomon, and you see like his long hair and him holding the staff or whatever. Definitely reminds me of like the sage of six paths from Naruto, but it also kind of reminded me of Sinbad in a way. I don't know. It seems as though certain qualities that I hear and I see about King Solomon, it really makes me think like, yo, what could be Sinbad's connection to him, if any? Because remember, when Sinbad was born, we got a little bit of a preview of it. When Sinbad was born, everyone was just like, yo, this incredible power was just born into this world. But where did it originate from? Was King Solomon responsible for this being reborn into this new world? What is it that Sinbad, why is he so special? What is it about him that possibly links him to the other world? And I like how this chapter also showed that Sinbad is very smart. He's already considering life on other stars, life on other planets. And this is in like ancient times. This is back in the day. So this definitely shows you that Sinbad is one crafty and very intelligent person. I mean, we already mostly knew that, but for him to start making these deductions for just a mere human, it's just like, wow, he's very intelligent. We got a bit of an Attack on Titan moment in this chapter when we basically see that the humans were the weak species in those times in the other world, where you see like all the other monsters, which one of them, by the way, kind of reminded me of like the Baelit from Berserk or whatever, because you got like those black things, then you have the talking pigs, and then of course you have humans, which are like the weakest species in that world. And the black things, they kind of remind me a little bit of like the medium that we saw that was supposed to be father or whatever. I'm guessing that possibly those are the connections to Altham, and maybe they originated from that. And of course, again, you have the talking pigs, and it kind of reminded me of like Attack on Titan, where humanity was on the brink. They were outnumbered, they couldn't fight back, and then you had King Solomon, which is kind of like the 3D maneuver gear, or Titan form Aaron, whichever way you want to go with it. And the way Aladdin says it, I'm gonna defy God today, and the way everything is like presented, I'm starting to wonder, what is Aladdin's connection to King Solomon? Could he be his son? Could he be the Titus to Solomon's Scheherazade, but maybe just a better version? Maybe maybe at the end of the series, and here's a big theory, what if Aladdin is potentially on the brink of dying and it's just a matter of time? Maybe towards the end of the series, the clone will finally no longer be able to sustain itself and Aladdin will die. Of course, it's a possibility he could be reborn via Ugo, but who's to say Ugo will be around at that point? This is all speculation again, but it just really got me interested when you see the other world and you see the connections and you see the shadowy figure with King Solomon, what I believe is Gyokuen on one side, and then there's two other ones. I'm guessing that's possibly Ugo, and the one that looks like Alibaba, because I remember there was a Magi that was with him that looked similar to Alibaba. So we got the set of characters. Ugo, I'd imagine at some point he was remade into a djinn by Solomon because he could only trust him and he wanted to grant Aladdin not the abilities, but give him this sort of weapon that he could use at his disposal as well and to protect him. And it also makes you think, okay, why was Aladdin in that tomb this entire time and he wasn't able to leave? Was it because that tomb was transporting him from one world to another and Ugo was overseeing it all? Some typical stuff that you see every day that pretty much war started because different people clashed. They needed land, they needed water, they needed supplies or whatever. So typical stuff there and why war usually starts. And then you have pretty much King Solomon and he's like just God. He's like Sage of Six Paths up in this bitch ready to fucking stop it all. And I just like where was the stopping point. So overall, it was a good chapter getting into, setting things up for the next arc that we're going into, the Alma Toran arc, which I'm very excited for because we're finally already, to be honest with you, this seems like stuff that you will get like chapter 4, 5, 600, and we're only in the 200s, and we're about to get the true history of what happened in the other world with King Solomon. And also, random theory as well, this is based on Arabian Nights, the 1,000 Nights or whatever. I'm curious, like, is this possibly going to go for 1,000 chapters? I mean, again, that would be stretching it for an arbitrary number, but that would be crazy as hell. Imagine me reviewing Magi chapters like 985. I'd be like, what the fuck? And overall, very informative, good chapter. I'm going to give this one 7.5 out of 10. Nothing too crazy, mainly just giving setup, which is good setup. And I'm just really excited with all these questions posing as well as we're going into this arc where it's going to show us everything that the world was in this other world. And I'm like, yo, who's King Solomon? Are we going to actually be able to see his face finally in the next one? And the connections, like, who is Aladdin's mother? Will we finally see her as well? I believe she was, because we've seen little glimpses here or there of Aladdin looking at flashbacks or getting these memories. And, like, she had, like, this giant ponytail just like him. So, like, could his mother possibly be a once Magi? There's so many questions. I can't freaking wait to find out. So, good setup. Again, 7.5 out of 10. Can't wait to see this Alma Toran arc in action. And it's like, everyone's going to get the truth, but it's just a matter of how this will impact all of them. But let me know what you guys think. First of all, what do you think could possibly be Sinbad's connection when he was born into this world that everyone was shaking like, holy shit, this is a strong entity to the other world and King Solomon? Could it just be that he was born and it was just like this freaking miracle baby? Or could it be some sort of relation to the other world? Also, do you believe we're going to get Aladdin's full nature, like his parents and how he was transported to this world? Again, I'm leaning towards him being trapped in that dungeon, and the reason why he couldn't leave was because he was being transported from one world to another, and like I guess he'll be spit out into space and time when he was transporting if he were to try to leave the dungeon. And just your overall thoughts, are you excited to be entering this Alma Toran arc next week? I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I still can't believe that we're already getting all this information and we're only in the 200s. That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you're hyped for Alma Toran. The true history is about to be revealed next week, baby. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.